Hi, we're the MLO Bros.
And our new office is now open at 211 South Main Street.
We take pride in being a local lender right here in the center of Poland, Ohio.
Maybe your current lender is offering terrible customer service, or maybe they're even going through a terrible merger.
We don't want to say any names, though.
Call us today. Let's help you finance your home.
That still might be my favorite thing we've ever done. It is so bad.
I do love it. I do love it.
It's so bad.
I just love how you're wearing a cutoff T-shirt.
Well, I have to.
That says Hail
I
Hydra.
had sleeves on before we started. I went and put on a cutoff because I was like, people expect this of me now.
It's just you, man.
All right. So tonight we have Marcus Hernandez coming on the show talking about his charity. I'm going to butcher this. I'm so bad. It's a foundation, Fuente De Amor.
I don't even want to say it.
And it's charity. It's with the Dominican Republic, and he's also owns a finance company called Cabot Family Office up in Warren. So, but he's from Poland. Kids go to Poland, so he's going to be joining us. And then before we do, I have all kinds of news. I want to do this first before we bring Marcus on. So first, number one is we don't like to talk about Nationwide because we talk about it, but we don't bring it up a lot because our company, I hate getting them involved because more than likely, eventually we're going to get in trouble, and I don't want to get them in trouble when we get in trouble from another bank or pissing somebody off. But we are number one fastest growing mortgage company. Found that out today. Number 8 fastest growing privately held company in the country. So again, don't like talking about Nationwide very much because, again, we're going to get everybody in trouble. Our office is open in Poland, and we're number one. Screw all you other banks.
We're number one. Your bank sucks.
Screw you, lenders. Like you got all these other people like, oh, we're starting podcasts in Columbiana. You got to screw these people. We're number one. We have our own podcast. Fantastic. And we're taking home loans. NMLS numbers is at our website. Okay. I got more news. Boardman Talk. Thank you for having us on. We had to create everything Poland because the other Poland talk group wouldn't let us on. We all know the history of that. Everything Canfield we created. Boardman Talk, the admin let us on, says he loves it. We're good. Thank you, Boardman Talk. So everybody in Boardman, thanks for joining us.
So much cooler. He's so such a cool admin. so much cooler than Poland Talk. As an admin, he's like, absolutely, you're promoting the community.
Yeah.
You're having lots of good guests on, and he lets us on. He lets us share these on Boardman Talk.
Okay.
No need to start everything Boardman.
Bring her back. You're right. But yeah, we get it. Okay. Slow down signs. We are opening up to anybody who wants to order slow down signs. It's on our website. You put them in your front yard. People speeding down your road. Anybody. Poland, Canfield, Boardman. You can order them up. It's a donation, and then you got to come get them, though. We're not dropping them off in stinking Jacksonville or whatever. So anybody who wants these signs, order them. You can come get them in our office in Poland. It's a $15 donation. All goes to Celebrate Poland, which is our fireworks show, which we'd love to have everybody there next year. Huge news for our podcast. We have like the best lineup ever. So we have Marcus today, who's coming on here as soon as he's sitting back there waiting. We have on Tuesday DJ Oakley from YSN, who is going to be streaming videos, but there's some gunk in there. Drama that you brought up the other day. Poland, the administration was giving them a hard time. We thought it was resolved, but it sounds like there's a hard time again. So he's going to politically, he's going to be like, oh, I love everybody. We're going to get him on here. If other schools stream and Poland or Canfield or Boardman don't let DJ and YSN stream and I can't watch my football, it is going to be World War III.
I know, right?
You handled it. You brought it up. And I talked to them and they said, oh, it's all good. But if these dudes don't let us stream football because they got attitude problems, they don't want DJ making money, YSN, I'm going to freaking lose it.
We will talk about it, but I'm not even worried about you. I'm worried about the parents that see DJ streaming Boardman and streaming Canfield. The Poland parents not seeing their kids. Oh my gosh, they're gonna lose their mind.
Yeah. So we're not doing that yet. But if we have to unload, we will. Okay. Yeah. It's like cocking the gun right now. We're getting ready, but we're not. Who's
Thursday? Who's Thursday? We'll talk about it later. Who's Thursday?
Thursday, Dr. Nina Rovino is going to talk COVID with us. That was one of our best shows we had. He's coming back to talk COVID before the kids go to school. On Tuesday, the following week, we have Joe Chavone, former state senator, running for Mahoney County judge.
Senator.
Yeah, dude, we're big time. And then on Thursday, we have Tom Zelia, the chiropractor, who you've never been to a chiropractor. We're going to have a video of Isaac going to a chiropractor for the first time, which is going to be awesome. So this is all we got.
Hold on. State senator, I thought people said we would go nowhere. People said we wouldn't get anybody good. We have no interesting guests. Wow. State senator.
Yep. Wow. So we got all kinds. I'm excited. I'm excited. So let's bring our buddy on, Marcus Hernandez. He's on his cell phone right now, and it looks like he is with his backyard. Are you in the Dominican Republic right now, Marcus?
What's up, gentlemen?
Marcus? You look like you're in the Dominican Republic right now, and you're in that backyard of yours there. That's really nice.
Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, he's on his cell phone.
I know.
I am not in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Hope to be sometime soon.
Wow. Well, Marcus, move closer to your router. See this cell phone stuff, man.
Yeah.
He's having
you gotta get
problems with his laptop.
close to your house, big guy.
Always happens.
I am not.
Marcus,
connection problems
Marcus.
here.
Yep.
Always. The cell phones never work, Isaac.
Oh.
Well, now it looks like you're in the basement. We are so professional. We're gonna have
hear me now?
State senators. We have all this stuff, and I have no idea why anybody comes on our show.
Marcus, talk a little bit. Talk to us, Marcus.
Now,
we
boys?
can. Yes.
Terribly, sort of. Is it? Are you by your Wi-Fi or are you doing the internet?
Goodness gracious.
It's the phone thing.
It's not good.
It's always the phone.
Am I by my?
Well, let's take some comments. We want Nicholas. Nicholas says we want Marcus. Oh, hold on.
Ryan O'Lear says, "Oh my bad, I thought it was to catch a predator live." Thanks, Ryan. Chris Haas. Yo.
Hey, Chris Haas. What's going on, man?
Nicholas Rodlin says, "We want Marcus." Yeah, so do we, Nicholas, but he is frozen right now.
We want Marcus on a good connection.
We are. Can you hear?
No. He keeps kicking.
You're frozen right now. See if you can log out, Marcus.
Shake your phone. Blow in the thing like a.
Log out. Leave the broadcast and come right back in.
Wait.
Oh, maybe.
Say that again.
You're frozen again. Wait.
Oh, there it is. Boom.
Always does it.
Do they know who they're messing with? Dan, no one knows who they're messing with.
Oh. Margaret Pechia says, "What's Fuente De Amor?" Well, that is we're going to talk about that as soon as he logs back in here. What I know of it is a charity for the Dominican Republic that oh boy, I'm going to try here because I did some light reading. Supports children, schools, churches. They have like kids come in, so they're going to talk about it. Marcus has hit 26 feet. I don't know what he's talking about.
From his router, maybe? I don't know. Is that the distance? Is that the distance to when your router shuts off? I don't know.
Chris Haas says, you guys are loaded. Yeah, we do have a bunch of good shows coming up.
Should be awesome.
So while we wait for Marcus to log back on, what are we talking about? Isaac, you got anything?
I'm excited to have that. That's actually a pretty decent lineup. I'm excited to talk to DJ Oakley. I'm excited to talk to a state senator. I don't even like at this point. I feel like we're way out of our league. Like, what are we gonna do? Like,
yeah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for him to come on. We are definitely getting kind of out of control as far as this goes because you know that we had Remember we had Walk It On. Oh, Walk It On. If you're watching right now,
walk it out. Walk it out.
Walk it out. We are giving away a $20 gift card on our Facebook page, MLO Bros. You have to like, follow, and share and click done on one of our posts. $20 gift card. Get on there.
We'll announce the winner on Tuesday's show.
Announce it on Tuesday's show with DJ Oakley.
Marcus.
He's so flustered. Look at him.
He is.
Boy,
it's all right,
Marcus.
So flustered.
So flustered.
It's all right. It's better now. This is good.
We're good.
We're good. We're good now.
Is this your cell phone or your laptop?
Guys? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
On my iPhone 7, which I refuse to turn in because I don't pay for anymore.
No.
And
might be time.
For the life of me, I could not log in to my Facebook account from my laptop. So doing great. So far,
awesome.
So good.
All right. Well, you're good.
This is good.
This happens all the time.
It's smoother now.
Anybody who watches our show does not have high expectations whatsoever. So this is just totally par for the course. Did you see the commercial? Did you see the commercial we made?
Knows me.
Yeah.
The commercial, the pan over, the whole 9 yards, absolutely spectacular.
Very
Gentlemen,
professional.
This whole podcast / social media, you guys are monsters. You guys are absolute savages at this.
We don't understand.
We appreciate that, but I really don't. We're just like hanging out is all we're doing, and it is clicking. I don't know how, but
don't tell my wife. I just do this so I can miss bedtime because bedtime's at 8:30. So I just do this so I don't have to put my 3 kids to bed.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays. So enough about us, Marcus. Tell us. Let's hear about you now. Let's go back. Where are you from originally? And then we'll get into that. We'll get into the charity events. We'll get into your business. Where are you from? What do you do? I mean, where are you from?
What's your story, man? What's your story?
Yeah. Well, thanks for asking. Grew up in California. Everyone always kind of gives me a weird look when I say that. Like, what the heck are you doing here? But left when I was a teenager to play hockey. Moved to Canada and Vancouver area. Been gone ever since. The last place I played was a team here in town, and met my wife, and here we are, Poland, Ohio, years and years later. So,
did you play for the Phantoms?
Poland, such a great town. Couldn't imagine living anywhere else. What's that?
I said, did you play for the Phantoms? Who'd you play for? Hockey in the area.
Well, in the business of hockey, there's a terminal called suitcase. I was a bit of a suitcase. I played for just about everybody.
Oh, okay.
But I gotten hurt, and the last place I played was, or one of those places I played was when the Phantoms had just come into town.
Phantoms.
I came here to play for about a half a season.
Did you
way
meet your
back when.
wife? Did you meet was your wife? So you met your wife? What?
So yeah. So
Delay is terrible. Did you meet your wife while you're
hockey?
Yeah, was she like in the stands and you're like skating? You're like skating by. You like see her up there. You like point at her.
Was she one of the Phantoms girls?
Yeah, I was pointing at her. I was pointing at her as I was by. No, I met her girlfriends at of all places, Applebee's. Long story, won't get into it.
Pick up a lot of chicks at Applebee's.
I met them, and then they all started coming to games. And good old Applebee's, Boardman, Ohio. I mean, that's where all romances started.
Love is born at Applebee's.
Applebee's and $2 margs.
Half price appetizers.
So yeah, that's what brought me to the area. And hockey players, they do one of two things. They become pharmaceutical sales reps, which I obviously qualified to do, or because and it was something that I always wanted. Ever since I was little, I always wanted to be. So so finished hockey, met my wife, and then got into the business I'm in today.
And what business is that?
Oh. Man, the connection is terrible. It must be on my end.
Son of a
financial advisor, I think, right? I had so many good financial advisor questions too.
We're trying.
I wanted to have a financial advisor on.
Like the internet thing, it drives me crazy because we're gonna have to start testing, but we can't go live to test because it's not when we talk. Like
no, he was fine before. He was totally fine before. What financial advisor questions do you have for him, Luke? Do you have any financial advice?
Is getting a mortgage a good thing?
I want to ask him.
That's like all your stuff. That's like you.
Yeah, dude. I love personal finance. Does he think credit cards are good?
That's a good. Great question. Great question.
Does like if you were to buy a car, how new should it be? Like some people say 2 years old, or no newer than that, because then you're wasting money because the price goes down so fast after you buy a car. Is he back? Is he back? Marcus.
He needs to get a laptop. Is that better?
Boy, I'm so rattled. That's 100%.
So rattled.
I can't hardly.
It's so rough hearing you. It's like you talk and then dead. The laptop. We gotta make a statement. No more cell phones.
MLO Bros needs to send you a laptop.
When we get Paul Hugenberg to get him one.
Well, I've got laptops here, and neither one of them are like I can't log in.
Well, it's okay. You don't have to be on Facebook. Just you can't log into your email.
Yeah, you don't have to be on Facebook.
Yeah, you just got to be able to get into your email.
On Facebook?
No.
Just email on your laptop. Just
do that.
What's your?
I just email.
He's in the village. Like. What's your address? Can I come over?
No, just have him link. No, just have him. You got to follow that link. Look at his wife is so unimpressive. His wife just gave him such a wife look. Did you see that?
It was maybe if you were prepared for this.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Can your wife? Marcus, can your wife log into Facebook on the laptop?
You don't even need to go on Facebook though. Just email.
No, but just to get him to link, Isaac.
You log into Facebook. Working on it.
You don't have his email
version. We could do this through email.
You can't email him a link, Luke.
I'm messaging Yeah, but I need his email. We're gonna say, what's your email? I mean, we're gonna say his email online.
Oh, that's. Do you have his? Well, we don't want to say his number either. So, message his phone, Luke. Message his phone, or have him through Messenger. Message his email, and then email him a link, and then he could come on to StreamYard on the computer.
Okay. Good Lord, this is the best.
You old people in your technology, I'll tell you what.
If you type that link in, Marcus. Look at these comments. What?
I'm listening.
Marcus, you are living the dream. Okay, Marcus, you there?
Yes, she is the smart one.
Just type in
Nicholas
link.
says, I blame Armstrong. I too blame Armstrong.
Marcus, just type in that link that's in that messenger that I sent you. Type that in.
He's in the village. I see this. I'm thinking about just running over there with my phone and
type that in, and then come back.
If he's in the village, I can walk there.
Okay, it's coming. We're gonna get this. Can we start a charity? Can we start a charity? Can we start a charity to get Marcus something other than an iPhone 7?
Yeah, seriously. GoFundMe for Marcus to get him at least a 10.
Stephanie, oh my God. This is the best show we've had in a long time, I was like. I'm not gonna lie.
This is it.
He's in the village. I blame Armstrong. Screw you, Armstrong.
While we're waiting, let's do animals of the MLO Bros. You have your cat, Luke?
I don't know where he is.
This is Charlotte.
Charlotte's gonna hate this. Oh, she hates you.
She's a miserable little girl, but she's daddy's girl. Tell him how you feel, Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Tell him how you feel. Get it out, honey.
Oh, she's gonna claw your eyeballs out.
Oh yeah? Is that what you want to tell her?
Put the cat down. She hates you.
She's beautiful.
Wait.
Praise the Lord.
Wow. We're
Can
in.
you hear me?
Yeah.
What a miracle of God.
Okay. Woo! The microphone's a little rough. The microphone's a little rough.
My microphone.
It's fine. It's fine. What's say it again?
I said better than it was, I suppose.
Oh yeah, now we're good. We're good. Okay. All right, we're in. Holy crap. All right, we gotta work on that.
Yeah, well, hey, that's my fault here, boys. I got home, I thought everything was just gonna be easy. I was gonna pop onto my iPad, no big deal. And apparently at some point I changed my Facebook password and forgot and couldn't log in properly. So my fault. Sorry.
It's all right. No problem at all, man. So last we left off, you jumped off of the Phantoms. You didn't become a pharmaceutical salesman, and you were trying to say what your job was, and we couldn't get that.
All right. So hockey players do one of two things. They become pharmaceutical sales reps, or they become financial advisors. There's no ifs, ands, or that's just the way it goes. I was never cut out for the pharmaceutical side, and I always wanted to be a stockbroker. So got into the business I am in now, 2004, I guess. And man, it's been a fun ride. So yeah, nothing else in the whole wide world I'd rather do than what I do for a living.
So is Cabot Family Office? Is that your company?
That's my company. So I left a firm about a year ago and went into private practice, and that is my company.
Who's Cabot?
You know what? Great story. So going through the whole process of going into private practice, I loved the acronym CFO. So you're the CEO of your company. You're the CEO of your family wealth. And just like in a company, you have a CFO, and the CFO doesn't make the decisions. You just walk down to the office to the CFO and say, hey, I want to buy X, Y, and Z, or I want to, whatever it is you want to do financially. You walk down and you say, how do I do this? And the CFO just simply says, don't do that, or here's how to do it, or yeah, go ahead and do it. And here's the best way of doing it. And so I wanted the acronym CFO, and I wanted to have a multi-family office. So I went through all these C words, like all over God's green earth, cornerstone, and like just a million different ones. And so John Cabot was a explorer that actually discovered, well, depending on who you talk to, but actually discovered North America after Columbus. Columbus discovered the Dominican Republic.
Right.
John Cabot discovered North America. So Cabot fit. The compass is a part of my logo, which is just helping people get from point A to point B, and it just all fits CFO. That's where Cabot came from.
CFO Cabot. I couldn't figure that out. I'm like, does this promote it? Is he like working for Mr. Cabot? Like, I couldn't figure out that. So you got Cabot Family Office as CFO.
Senior. It's actually Senior Cabot.
Senior Cabot.
Yeah, Senior Cabot.
Senior Cabot Family Office. So, and before we get, Isaac has
I'm like
investment questions.
Finance. I love personal finance.
Before we get into that, and you two bore each other with the investment stuff, and we lose all our viewers.
I'm nervous, but yeah.
Let's talk about the Foundation Fuente De Amor.
Yes.
What is it exactly? I mean, and I did some research on it, but let's hear. What is it exactly?
When did you start it?
So I'm going to shorten the heck out of this, but basically 10 years ago, my wife and I were at church, and we're sitting there, and this guy gets up in front of everybody and says, "Hey, I'm going to take a group down to Haiti." This is right after the big earthquake in Haiti. And I'm not even listening. I'm someplace else. My wife elbows me directly in the ribs and goes, "That sounds like you. You should do that." And I look down, and I'm looking at my hands, and I have absolutely zero calluses on these hands. Look at these suckers. They're callus-free. They don't swing a lot of hammers. And but she goes, "That's right up your alley. You should go." So I went. And down there, I met a missionary. Now, for those that don't know, the Dominican Republic is one country on an island that has two. So 1/3 of the island is Haiti, and the other 2/3 is the Dominican Republic. And so I was outside of Port-au-Prince, and I met this missionary, Bud Simon, that was a missionary actually from, believe it or not, Canfield, Ohio, that was working in the Dominican Republic. And so we became fast friends, and we did our work down there. We were down there for about a week, and I got stories on stories on stories about being in Haiti after the earthquake, but won't bore anyone with that. So the following year, we took a group of guys down to the Dominican Republic, and we started nailing on some roofs and helping out in the little community outside the capital. And then we did this for a couple of years, and finally sort of got to the point where I was like, we're simply giving fish away. We're not teaching anyone to fish, and we're going to be doing this forever and ever. So that missionary, Bud Simon, and his wife, Karen, we all kind of sat down together, and we decided that we would start this or expand on this foundation that was already there, that we would have a school there, a trade school. And so that's kind of what we built. So for a few years, we built all the infrastructure on this piece of property in Boca Chica, which is a suburb of Santo Domingo, which is the capital, which is, by the way, when everyone says Columbus discovered America, he discovered Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, which is kind of funny. But it's about an hour outside the capital. We have a piece of property there where we have a church and a school that has about 400 kids that we feed them. They're in the Dominican, like a lot of countries, their largest meal is lunch. So we feed all these kids lunch every day. We have a doctor once a month that comes out to make sure that immunizations are done. And then the natural next process is the trade school. There's actually, the DR has a lot going on. as long as you have some sort of skilled trade. So we're teaching people to be plumbers and electricians. And that's really the next step in what we're doing down there. It's a lot of people go, how'd you get involved? And I was like, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time is really how I got involved. But I love it. It's a great deal. So now the issue is, and why our golf outing in a few weeks, about a month from now, is such a big deal, is typically we partner with another charity and the government, and they help us with funding for food in particular. And because of COVID, we're kind of getting part of that. And these families, they're struggling. So they have a curfew where by 5 p.m. every day, you have to be home or you get arrested. And so these people can't get from where we're at in this little village to the big city to work and back by 5 p.m. So they're not working. Wow. So, we're trying to help out with their food needs and some other needs that they have, and working through this COVID crisis down there. It's a whole different ballgame down there on so many levels. Food inflation is up 50% right now. Where 6 months ago, chicken was, say, 100 pesos, which is like $2 a pound, and now it's 150 pesos. It's pretty extensive. But yeah, so lots going on. I can get way into more detail, but the government really supports the heck out of us down there. They've always kind of scratched their heads at us, like, wait a second. So why are you down here? Like, you're not Dominican. Why do you want to be involved?
Right.
And, and I tell them the same thing I tell folks here that are like, well, we have people that are in need too. And we do. There's no doubt about it. But it's a passion of mine and Marissa and several other folks that are a part of this, that, these folks, some of them have almost nothing or literally have nothing. And all we really want to do is not necessarily make them Americans in any way, shape, or form, but to give them an opportunity at an education and to hopefully have a job and then make an impact on their family is really what our outcomes are down there.
Tell us about the golf outing. That golf outing is on September 5th, right?
September 5th at Mill Creek South. It's a 8:30 shotgun. And we always have a big meal. We have breakfast that's always great, and then a big meal for dinner. We're going to do it a little bit differently this year, the same but different. So anyone that feels uncomfortable, we're going to spread out all the tables so everyone can wait for everyone to come in and find out what the scores are. You can eat a meal then. But if you feel uncomfortable being around that many people, we have meals to go, and we'll obviously call anyone that if your team won or won a prize or whatever the case may be, we want to make sure that everyone's set up.
I will sign, or Isaac, will you sign us up tomorrow? And how do we sign up for that?
How do we sign up?
Couple different ways. You can go to our Facebook page or our website, which is fuentedeamor.info. You've got it spelled right, actually, on the on the crawler underneath.
That is unbelievable that I spelled that right. Okay,
yeah,
so
/ info.
Sign up for
.info. Yeah.
Golf outing. Go to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
.info.
And it's Foundation Fuente De Amor.
You got it, boys.
Okay, well, sign Isaac and I up, and our MLO step bro O'Keel. He hates it when I call him that, by the way. O'Keel, the three of us will play. We need a fourth, Isaac. Maybe we can figure out a way to raise some money with a fourth person. With us. Who would want to? Anybody want to donate and come golfing with? Like, we'll pay for your golf, and we'll make like a donation out. We'll think of it. We're gonna figure out. We're gonna think of something to get some money for you here. So we'll think of something.
why in the Dominican Republic is there, if you know, why is the curfew at 5? Is it because they think that the virus is more, you're more susceptible to it at night, or what?
Why do they close bars at 10 here?
Yeah. Right. So great. Well, first off, they don't close them at 10. They close them at 11. They stop serving you
all at 10, Luke.
I keep getting yelled at about when I say the same thing, Luke. But why? Man, such an interesting question. I've been pretty lucky to meet some people in the Dominican government, and I've got some great friends that are businessmen and down there that are American educated. They think like Americans, but they act like Dominicans. And it's just a whole different culture. Like, they are very close. There's a lot of touching. They hang out very close to each other. And as the government just as a whole, I feel like this is my personal opinion, my personal perception. As a whole, the government's like, hey, the only way that we can keep all of these people from getting really, really close, whether it be at the little corner bar or at, like a little party at someone's house or whatever it is, whatever's going on, is to say, hey, listen, we're going to arrest you at 5 o'clock if we find you out. And they do. So the other issue I think that other countries have, it's not just a Dominican thing, because honestly, healthcare down there is actually not, it's not what we have by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not bad. But it could very easily be overwhelmed. And so I think that's another issue, is they only have so many beds, and they don't want to max them out. And so, hey, listen, the only way to make sure that people aren't talking and around each other is
this is a totally random question. I'm just curious. What do you, if you even know, what kind of government does the Dominican Republic have?
Man, it's a great question. Their government, in many, many ways, is copied after ours. So they have a very democratic system. They have a Senate. They've got a Congress. They've got a president. The president's actually been a really fantastic leader. But they're in the middle of a transition right now. They've got a presidential election going on right now. So if you look at it from a legal perspective there, this is again my 2 cents.
Absolutely.
90% of it is copied on our government, our constitution, the way our rule of law works, and about 10%, say 8% is French law, which is just, whatever, and then 2% sort of in there, however they see, it should work down there. So, but you have property rights. It's interesting. It's very democratic. You have property rights. There's the rule of law. It's interesting. Gun ownership is really, really, really important to Dominicans. Huh. Things that you would never really kind of expect out of a third world country. It's interesting.
The reason I asked that is, could you imagine, like, are the people who always watch the show the Mahoning County Patriots or whatever, like Lee and John Elias and these guys, that they're in this group over in Canfield, and they're very anti-mask. Could you imagine what they would do if the government said, you will be arrested at 5 o'clock? I mean, it would be a full-on revolt here. I mean, there would be no way.
Luke, it's interesting. Like, my friends down there, when I talk to them about, things are getting restrictive or this or that, they're like, wait, can you still travel all over the country? I'm like, well, yeah. Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, well, yeah. And they're like, well, we can't do any of those things.
The guys would go out of their mindset. I don't think our government would consider it, because they couldn't. That's crazy.
We're so different, people left all over the world to come here because they are tired of being told what to do.
Right.
On some level, this is neither left nor right. This is a non-political statement.
Yep.
They left their homeland because they're tired. Could you imagine leaving Poland, Ohio, and the United States? Like, could you imagine saying, I'm leaving? I mean, that's a huge deal. Yeah, so these people came to this country because they're tired of being told what to do. But the Dominican and many other countries, especially third world, that's not the thought process. It's not like, you can't tell me what to do. The DR, I mean, they're just what 4-5 decades away from having a dictator. That's short memory. A lot of people are alive for that. It's just it's so different. But yes, absolutely. I couldn't imagine. That's why I haven't gone back since this thing started. I've got so much to do down there, but I couldn't imagine going and telling some cop, "Hey, no, I'm going across that bridge. I got stuff to do over there. You can't tell me what to do."
He said Jeffrey Basil says the police carry sawed-off shotguns.
That's pretty badass.
Sure. We got pulled over one time. Jeff's a carpenter. He's been involved with this with me for a long, long time. And we got pulled over, I'd say 6, 7, 8 years ago. There's a video of this someplace. And I'm driving. We just left lunch, and we're going back to the hotel. And I'm driving, and the National Police comes zipping up with a little dirt bike and just comes right up next to me and points me over the side of the road. And I'm like, ugh. And my Spanish is suspect at best, and I'm talking at best. And so he pulls me over, and he's ripping me in Spanish. I have no idea what he's saying. He's talking so fast, I have no clue. And he's on one end. He's probably 19 years old. He's got his hand on his hip on his pistol. And this other cop on the back of the dirt bike, this big old chubby Dominican guy, has a sawed-off shotgun. He comes to the other side of the
Oh.
And I'm going, oh, this is no good. So they're like asking if we were drinking, which we weren't, and they're asking where my driver's license was, which I didn't have. And I was telling him in Spanish, my very best Spanish, that it was at the hotel. I forgot it at the hotel. He's asking for my passport and all this other stuff. And all he does is this.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And, oh, boy. He starts telling me in Spanish that this is a 10,000 peso fine and 3 nights in jail.
For not having your license.
Yeah. I'm going, oh. And at this point, like, I didn't really understand the process. Like, if I explained to him the foundation of what we were doing, he would have been like, we are best friends immediately. But I didn't know it yet. So he goes back to the back of the pickup truck with his buddy with the shotgun. And I see them because I'm starting bullets. I see them like laughing in the rear mirror.
Uh-huh.
So they come back, and the guy now speaks English all of a sudden, and says, "Gifts, no problem. Gifts. No bribe. Gifts." I'm like, money. That's why didn't you do it? So I reach into my pocket, and I have 7 $10 bills. I have $70 on them, and a little paper clip with my key card to the hotel. And I start pulling this money out, and I go, well, how much in Spanish? And then I stopped. I put my hand up. I was like, and I just handed him the $70. Well, the guy on the other side with the shotgun, sawed-off shotgun, now has it down at his side like this, and big old smile on his face. And this kid starts counting out the $10 bills and $70. And the big smile comes on his face. We are now best friends. And we're on a highway that's like 680. And the two of them jump into traffic and stop 680 traffic so I can merge back on. I'm not positive, but I think I was invited to Christmas dinner. I'm not sure.
Wow.
They all carry sawed-off shotguns. Everyone's got a gun. It's absolutely crazy. It really is. It's like the Wild Wild West. It really is.
I'm gonna try and bribe. I'm gonna try and bribe a truck cop with $70 next time he pulls me over.
So you know what's funny though? In my mind, I was thinking of it that way too. I was like, wait a second, I can't bribe this guy because if you did that here, you would go immediately to jail.
Truck cop will slam you up against the car and
throw in the back of his truck.
Opportunity. He's looking for an opportunity to put you away, Isaac.
He is.
After you're down 224, he's just looking for an opportunity to put you in jail.
The other day, I got a story for Truck Cop. Isaac and I were leaving our new office on 224, and it's the light at Home Savings in Canfield, or what's the stupid crappy bank? Premier. So I turned left to go home.
What are we called again? I can't remember.
Yeah, and I was being a total jackass. So what I was trying to do, Isaac was behind me in our parking lot to turn. I was trying to go really, really slow. So Isaac hit the light behind me, and I got through. So I was going just slow enough for that thing to turn yellow, and it was probably almost red. It was probably red when I went through. So I go through. Now, we have our stickers on our car, so you know it's us. I go through right when it turns red. Frickin' Truck Cop sitting right there. Right there. I have my window down, and I look at him. He's just going like this, just shaking his head like a disappointed dad. And then I'm waving. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
And then he looks over. Yeah.
You pulled up behind him, did you?
No, I'm at it's a red light, and it turns red for me, so it turns green for him, and he drives by, and I'm just honking and going.
So funny.
He just drives by and just goes.
I could see him shaking his head, and like the look on his face was like, "Oh God, those freaking two guys!" I'm gonna like it's just like this. I don't know what to do with them. I'm almost running a red light. He's sitting there, and I'm going like 2 miles an hour through the light to slow Isaac down. It's like, oh my God. So, Nicole says, I have a story where I assumed to be trying to bribe an officer once. Don't do that. Is bad news down here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Heather Berger said, no, you didn't bribe it. Let's see here. Liz Baker says, savage. Oh, she's called us savages.
Always.
You guys are savages.
Liz Baker says the Dominican people are so warm and beautiful, and the country and culture are fabulous. That's the dancing lady there.
Well, Liz is dead.
Yep. Dancing lady. Oh, dancing lady number 4 wants to be our 4th.
There you go.
Isaac, I'm telling you, Nicole had a great idea. Auction the first spot off.
That would be really fun and a good idea.
We could totally let's do that.
Just donate back to.
It might only get you like $5, but it'll get you something.
Hey, that sounds spectacular to us.
All right, we'll set that up. We'll set that up this weekend, Isaac. We'll set up an auction to golf with the MLO Bros. We'll see what kind of pull power we have to get some money for these guys.
Yeah. I think what was I going to say? So yeah, our mother actually, she's a nursing professor at YSU, or was a nursing professor. She's retired now, but she actually got into. She takes a medical mission trip where she gathers doctors and nursing students. Sorry, I was trying to take it down.
I was taking it down.
You keep putting it back up. But she gets doctors and nursing students as well as other community members and goes down to Mexico, like on the Baja Peninsula. And she goes, I mean, it's the middle of nowhere, like dirt roads, poor. And I went with her twice, and it is, I mean, eye-opening experience. I mean, the poorest of the poor here, it is like 3 times as bad as that, you know? And I mean, they have nothing. But the crazy thing is the amount of happiness these people still have, and everyone here compared to here, like everyone's so grumpy all the time. Yeah. It is for what they have. For them to be so happy, it's just amazing. It really is. And then them welcoming us there. Everyone in town is there to welcome us in, and they're so happy for what we're doing and thankful for what we're doing. And it's great. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, no, it is mind-boggling. I always, and I know it's not possible for everybody, but I always tell people, hey, if you get the opportunity to go someplace, not to your all-inclusive resort, not to this, just go someplace and actually see how the world works. It'll blow your mind. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, I was interviewing a young man that we were going to hire down in the ER, and he was from Venezuela. College educated, actually was almost done with his law degree when everything kind of fell apart down there. And I asked him all these questions. Guy spoke English better than the three of us combined, like not even an accent. And we got to the end, and I asked him, the last question was, do you have questions? And he goes, yeah, just one. He goes, tell me about how people live in the United States. He goes, are the movies, like, is that real? And, I had to kind of explain to him how it works, and surely, and I'm not saying that there's not folks here that we need to look after, because there's plenty. That's just not, it's not that that's not my passion, but I don't think it's my calling. But I explained to him, yes, absolutely. The water that comes to your sink is the same water that fills your toilet, and the way medicine works here and everything. Like, the guy was just it blew his mind.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to be able to travel. It's a big time blessing to be able to travel and see things that you've seen.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this before too. Is one of the things I worked in my 20s for like 3 years on a cruise line, and everyone's like, I was assistant cruise director. And yes, I had a lot of fun. It was a blast. That's well found. If we have a couple of beers, I could tell you some stories. But one of the things I always tried to do while I was in the Dominican Republic, I was all down all around South America. I always tried to go off the beaten path away from resorts to see how people lived. And the people here that complain about what they have, the government doesn't provide, they need this, they need that, they have no idea what it is like until you get away from some of these resorts and you see how people live. I will never forget, we were in Colombia as a refuel port, and we got off the ship, and there were guys saying with guns, don't go out here, this is the refuel port. And I'm like, well, I'm the crew, and they had somebody come with the crew with us to go go hang out at a bar because they were worried. And they didn't charge us, they didn't do anything. They were with the government. They said, if you guys are going out, we're going to come with you, and we'll just hang out and protect you. That's what it's like in Colombia. And the people here, we have it so bad, this, that. You have no idea what it's like. No idea. I do that all the time.
We're so lucky. We're lucky, blessed. I mean, pick your word, whatever it is that you use to live in the place that we live. And I honestly think, and I think this would be an amazing use of taxpayer dollars, is you give every single American $2,000, family of four, $8,000, and say you have to get a passport.
Yep.
Because how many people actually have a passport? It's so funny. The rest of the world, you travel the world, everyone has a passport. Everyone has a passport. Yep. Americans are like, whatever, 20% of us do.
Yeah.
Give everyone a passport that expires in a year, give everyone $2,000 and say you have to travel to a third world country, not to a resort, but to a third world country for 3 days.
Yep.
And come home. There's nothing else to it. That's it. Just go, come back. Here's a short list of countries that are probably the safest bets. I think the outlook on the world and our country would change unbelievably.
I agree.
By this, I think, tiny investment to tell people, hey, listen, go out and see how the world actually works. Because we have, in Europe, like we have the best thing in Europe. You don't even still drink cold water.
Yeah.
We just drink,
Our brother-in-law is just got married to our sister from Venezuela, and he came here to school. And his papers are going through. He said something interesting the other day. He is afraid to go home because people know he's from the U.S. now, and they will try and rob him. Like that is that is this. These people are so like, and again, I mean, we could talk about this all day, but it is amazing to me that you guys have this foundation and are willing, are going down there, helping these poor kids, helping. That was the thing that used to get me the most when I was traveling, was the kids. It sucks seeing the adults, they're struggling, but these little tiny kids always got me, because I had my little brother, I had my little sister at home, I was 20, so they're 5, 6 years old, and then you see these little kids that don't have shoes, that don't have food, and you're just like, holy cow, how lucky are we? So, and good, God bless you guys for help going down there and helping these people in the Dominican Republic.
Real quick, because I haven't seen enough about this.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only one on the camera right now. It's not me. I got a big group of people, including my wife, Jeff Basil, and Glenn Seaback, and Stan Brown, and a whole host of other folks, Orietta Schicker, and then Franklin and Lavi. Franklin and Lavi are the pastors that actually live at the foundation. Well-educated, college-educated folks. They gave up everything to live there, run it full-time. They have 3 little boys, and I'll tell you what, they're so awesome. So I want to make sure that they get all of the credit on this.
Absolutely.
Folks, I'm not sitting on this camera right now, but I'm 1/1,000,000th of the equation. Let's face it. I want to make sure that I bring that for sure.
Well, thank you, everyone involved. That it is amazing what you're doing.
Before we get into the investment, because I know, Isaac, you're dying.
I'm fine.
One more time, for the golf outing on September 5th, they can sign up on Facebook. If you go to our Facebook page, I just shared the link. We'll share the link in everything Poland, everything Canfield. We'll try and help you out as much as we can.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're going to auction off the 4th spot. We'll figure out how we're going to organize that with the MLO Bros.
Marcus, how can people, if people want to get involved, if people want to go, are they able to go with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So every year, I go down about once a quarter, normal times. But every year, usually in the fall, I take a group down, and we do like a capital improvement project, whether that's building a new building or just maintenance and improving what we have down there. So yes, we would absolutely love to have anyone that'd be interested to make that trip. There's some expense. It's not a lot. It's about $1,000 all in between flights and insurance and hotel and things like that for the week. But basically, the way to get involved would be just to get in contact with me, and I can give you my email address if you'd like. That'd be the best way to get in contact.
And you're on Facebook. You're on Facebook too, right?
And I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
So message, get an email and go from there, basically.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. You ready to 180 this thing and talk finance?
Absolutely.
I'm nervous, but yes, go ahead.
So give us a background on your company before I unleash my little brother on you and have all these questions. Now, is it an investment company? Is it a financial advisor? What do you do?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So financial advisor, so we go from point A to point B. When it comes to laying out a plan, I always tell people, your investments are a lot like traveling, right? So if you say, I'm going to go to Butte, Montana this day, and you've never been there, it's this pretty little mining town in the middle of the Rocky or the Continental Divide there. And I say, no maps, just drive until you find it. Good luck. It's almost 2,000 miles away, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Or, hey, here's turn-by-turn directions. It's going to take us a while to get there, but here's turn-by-turn directions. And that's really what we do for our clients, is we sit down and say, okay, where is your Butte, Montana? And instead of shooting from the hip and going, all right, we're going to buy Apple and Amazon and this and that and whatever. Wait, why are you owning those investments? And do they have anything to do with actually your outcome? Yeah, a lot of folks are like, what's my rate of return as compared to the S&P 500? Well, does it matter? Maybe the S&P 500 is way too aggressive for what your outcomes are. Maybe it's not aggressive enough. And so that's kind of where our conversation starts is where are we going? And let's make sure we have our risk adjusted to make sure that we're going there. Because often I find folks when we have a new client, a new family coming in, I often find that their expectations to where they're going, their risks, they're willing to take risk is either way too high or way too low. And then we have to have that conversation that says, hey, we either have to come to terms with the fact that we're never going to get there, or, hey, we need to dial this back because you're going to have a heart attack if you open too many statements, because our risk levels are too high. So we start there, and then outside of that, then we put together and design a portfolio very specifically for Isaac Schuster, or, whoever the case may, whoever we're dealing with, and we manage that actively. So so from point A to point B, really, and then it's really high touch. We can't have a million clients, and so when you go to apply for Social Security, we go with you. We make sure that you're applying for it properly and everything goes smoothly. When you're picking your options on your pension payout, often there's 5, 6, 7, 8 different options for pension payouts. We talk about what that means. When it comes to gifting to the kids, what's our strategy around all these things? Because it's amazing, folks that have more money than they can count. It's interesting how they're busy making and building that wealth. And they don't spend a lot of time, or getting a lot of great advice on how do we keep it and make sure it stays in the family. So 30,000 feet, Luke. Sorry, long answer.
You're good.
Professional.
You're good, buddy. You're good. I like it. No, it's good. I mean, that's that people, and we see as loan officers, we see a lot of people making a lot of mistakes. Some people are very good. Some people have zero savings, trying to buy a house with $200 in their name.
And when people come to you, Marcus, are they already at the point where they have themselves situated and are ready to start investing? Because as a loan officer, we're pulling people's credit, and you see student loans, you see a lot of leases, and you see a lot of like car loans, and then you see credit card debt. And it's like these people, my job is to get them a loan for a house, and I do that. But at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, you need to reorganize, you need to budget yourself, you need to do A, B, C, and D, because this is just not good. But I'm still going to get them a loan if I can.
Do you do that with people? So like, do you look at all their stuff they're spending, or how do you do that?
All right, so So my wheelhouse is not necessarily where I can make an impact. Is not necessarily on the person that's just starting.
Yeah.
Most of our clients are 60.
Okay.
They're getting closer to retirement if they're not already in it. They're trying to plan on how they can never outlive their money, and to make sure that the money not transfers, they not only not outlive it, but they also transfer that money to the next generation. That's really where we come in, because there's so many moving parts that we're so busy with our careers that we never even think of. Whether that's trust planning, you deal with folks all the time that have 4 kids, 2 of them, all 4 are married. 2 of them, they love their in-law, kids. One is a total spendthrift, and the other one, they hate their in-law kid, and they're going, well, we have all this money, and we're never going to spend it, and I don't want that kid to have the money because he's going to spend it all. I don't want that daughter-in-law to have any of the money because she's going to leave my son and spend it all. And those two, they can have whatever they want. So,
I don't like that daughter-in-law. Terrible person. Sorry.
Yeah, they're very dangerous. So it gets really complicated quick, but there's ways to deal with that, and they're all very straightforward. And if you're having family meetings, that's the other thing I really advocate all the time. Is all right. We're 65 years old. We've got 4 kids. We've got a large amount of money. And I want my kids to know where things are, how I want this to look when I'm gone, and have those meetings as time goes on. Maybe it's every 5 years, whatever the case may be, because the worst thing in the world, and I see it all the time, is people build this wealth over their entire lives, all their career, and then they tragically die, and then it's me with a 1,000-piece puzzle without the lid. I have no idea what it looks like on top, and trying to put all the pieces together and figuring out, all right, so this is supposed to go to this kid, this is supposed to go to this kid, and you got kids arguing, and it just turns into a nightmare. So all of that can be headed off and pass if we talk about it early.
I have seen in our industry kids trying to refinance, and you get into like probate court with like parents that die, and you have families just World War III not talking to brothers or sisters anymore because the parents didn't have a plan. And it is like, it's nasty stuff.
It's in some ways, it's as simple as, and I tell people, we don't have to get as intricate as having a trust. You can just simply make sure you have TODs on all your assets. Your house, it's paid off, TOD. Your car's TOD.
TOD is what?
Transfer on death. So
okay. You talked about the day, didn't we, Isaac? Remember that?
You don't even need
about a mortgage today.
We did.
Really?
About a house.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
About a house. Yeah, we had a customer. That's not a lie. We had a customer wasn't going to be on the loan, but wanted to transfer upon death of the mortgage, which happens with the title company. So
yeah,
which is super duper important.
Yep.
When you're doing this type of planning, other things like with your retirement accounts, a lot of people don't know that if you don't have your beneficiaries set just right and both spouses die, if there's 2 spouses, it turns into a total mess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are just, there's very simple things that that folks just need to plan and prepare for. And that's what we do. Like, that's our job. Our job is certainly not the person that, wants to day trade and call every day and sell AMC and buy, the next cruise line or whatever the case may be. It's just not our job. I'd love to. I mean, it's fun to talk about, but it's just it's not our job. My job's not. Our job's not to make you rich. You worked your entire life to get that way. Our job is to make sure you stay that way. Uncle Sam wants to take the most of it, so you've got to have a plan to keep him out of the situation, and then make sure that everything's set up just so that you can only plan for the worst case scenario and hope for the best. So that's really
when I think financial advisor, I think I don't know why, but cheap old guy who like super frugal, who like is gonna plan my life out. So are you like, do you have credit cards, or are you like super cheap and don't spend money ever?
Wait, do I look like
I hear a wife laughing in the background.
I'm cracking up in the background. What does that mean? I don't. Well,
can we invite her on, please? Can we
have her
in the room?
Let's bring her in.
Let's bring her in.
Come on in.
Yeah, it's very important. We have a very important conversation going on.
How cheap is your husband?
Question. Measure this by Amazon boxes at the front door.
Oh my gosh, seriously.
I don't even know what it is.
Hi.
There's the boss.
Hi.
So,
cheap
boss,
is he?
how cheap is your husband? Like, no credit cards? Are we talking? I think financial advisor. That's what I think. No money going out at all. Like, totally budgeted all the time.
Is this vacation Marcus or home?
Oh, yeah, there are two different Marcuses. Vacation Marcus will spend
That's how
money. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's on vacation. There are no rules.
We used to, when we go on our dad's like that.
Yeah.
When we would go on vacation and be like, Dad, can I have $20? Here, have 40. When we're at home, can I have $20? Can I have $20? You already owe me 20 from the other day. I'm not giving you a penny. You owe me still. Like,
Yeah,
that's the difference.
There's got to be balance.
Yeah, that's actually about right. I think I'm almost that guy.
You're not as he's gotten a lot less uptight as he's gotten older, actually.
Less tight, but
Yeah,
like,
my dad's the same way too.
He's watching those accounts though, right? I mean, as an investment guy, he has to be.
Does he do the classic? You get home from the store. So I saw you went to Target. He like has his iPad. I saw you went to Target, made a couple purchases, huh?
He doesn't do that anymore.
Past
He doesn't do that anymore. You get in trouble for that, didn't you, Marcus?
several times. Thank you very much. Thanks for bringing it up. You have to do counseling now. Thanks a lot, Isaac.
See, the problem with my house is I am out of control spender. Like, I have so much fishing stuff, so much hunting stuff. I mean, ask Isaac. It's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, Isaac, I think I should have this. And it's like
just chaos.
And my wife has to control that, or else I'd own like a freaking, a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something. I mean,
and then I'm just like my dad, where I do not have credit cards at all, and I just have like debit cards, and I'm like cracked down. But my girlfriend's a spender.
What do you think of credit cards, Marcus?
Well, I spend anything I can. I spend on a credit card.
Yeah,
and I pay it off. I mean,
So
we like the benefits. My family still lives in California. And so we fly, well, usually in the normal year, we fly there at least once. And so just with our normal spending, I get to, get those tickets for free.
Yeah.
So by and large, I use credit cards. But it's a challenging thing for a lot of people on a budget level because it's plastic, right?
Yeah.
It's not even money. You're just sliding this thing. And at the end of the month, you're like, oh, I can pay half of it.
Yeah.
And then you do that every month. Next thing you know, you're maxed out and you're in trouble.
I just heard so many horror stories that it like always scared me. And now seeing all this credit card debt, being a loan officer on so many people's names, it just scares me even more. Like, I don't even want to risk myself getting in that situation and then having to.
Oh, I got it.
Good job. That's good.
I got a good one. I have a good question that we see all the time. So you said your average age of your customer is 60.
About 60, yeah.
What do you think about parents co-signing for kids?
That's
on
a good question.
car loans, on credit cards, on student loans, on houses. Like, we see that all the time. What do you think of that?
How much money does the parents have? Do they have enough money to write the check if they wanted to?
Yes. Sometimes.
All right. Here's my 2 cents on it. This is how I usually advise folks. If you have enough money that you can write the check and kind of probably plan to write the check, fine, cosign. If you don't, and it potentially could put you in a bad situation, I think that you absolutely positively don't, because you work your entire life and you can't screw yourself up now. So I don't love it unless you are already going to pay that bill and planning on it. Then no way, Jose. Bad idea.
I have seen so many people, and you feel terrible for these parents and grandparents that co-sign for these freaking kids on cars, on houses, on credit cards, and then those kids don't pay.
They butcher their credit.
Those people are screwed, like the people who co-sign, because they can't do anything then.
Nothing.
You're
You're seriously hooped when you when you sign on that dotted line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's unbelievable when you see that stuff. So
You see it all the time. I mean, you just got to make, and I know this sounds so vague, but you got to make wise choices. And it's okay. And this is kind of like doubling over with our conversation earlier with third world countries and the rest of the world, and kind of, yeah, I'm willing to say how spoiled we are here. And that's, we've spoiled we were probably spoiled as compared to the way our parents were raised.
yeah.
Now we're at risk of spoiling the living bejeebers of out of our kids.
Yeah.
And in a situation where we go, listen, you can't go to school you can't buy that brand new car. You could buy this other not quite so nice car.
Yeah.
And then maybe in 2 years you can buy it. Like the value thing is there. We're so in this. I want my kid to have, everything.
Like materialistic society.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the car Lucas, my 9-year-old. So I mean, he's only 9, but we're talking 7 years. I can't wait to see the piece of crap he drives into that pole in high school. It's going to be fantastic.
Seriously, like I want them to be. I want my kids one day to be safe, but at the same time, I just want them to have the absolute most piece of crap car, and I hope my kid appreciates just being able to drive something.
I graduated in '97, which was a long time ago. But I had a 1984 Fiero GT, and I'm a big dude rolling out. My dad used to laugh like, "A nice car." Like I cannot wait to see that piece of crap. I had cars that didn't have air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
95 degrees. I had to open, and the windows didn't roll down. I had to open the door while I was going down the highway to get air in. I mean, that is a true story. So, it's going to be a piece of crap.
Isaac, what was your first car?
I was lucky. So I got my aunt's in 2008. I got my aunt's, or 2010 when I turned 16. I got a Cobalt that was like an 08 Cobalt. So it was really nice. But then I drove it forever through high school, through college, to the point where 2 years ago, I had it for 10 years. I drove it onto the lot to buy a new car, and like the door handles wouldn't work anymore. The windows wouldn't go down. It was all dented and messed up. I had to remove the handle on the inside of the door and pull the string to open the door. It was just so bad. AC stopped working.
But remember, so he goes to trade this in, right? And the guy that comes out with the clipboard to check the trade in, Isaac hands him the keys like, "Hey, don't close that door. You get locked in. You won't be able to get out."
You should have just tossed him the keys like, "Yeah, you walked away."
I'm like trying to negotiate with him, like, how much do you want for? I'm like, how much am I getting for trade? He's like, I'll give you like $100. I'm like, I want 500, and I will not negotiate with you. And he's just like, I can't even get out of the car, dude. I can't even go inside of it.
He's like, all right, $2, done.
Yeah, I didn't want a car payment, so I just drove her into the ground. But it was nice. How about you?
And that's why you're always in financially good shape.
I know, right?
What do you have, Marcus?
What's that?
What was your first car?
1988 Nissan pickup truck. No air conditioning. Not in the beginning, at least. I think we got that fixed eventually. I think when I got it from my grandfather, there was 188,000 miles on it. I think something along those lines. And I put like another 60 some odd thousand on it before turning it over to the next guy. And it was great. Paint flicking off all over the place. Blue. It was really beautiful.
Character.
The coat on the outside of the car, the clear coat was just while you're driving down the highway, flickering off as you're driving. It was beautiful. It really was. I loved it. It was amazing.
Nicholas Rodland says, my first car was a 1992 Silverado manual transmission. I didn't know how to drive stick. Do you know how to drive stick, Isaac?
I don't.
You need to learn.
Yeah.
I know. My buddy tried to teach me in high school, who always drove stick, and I think he taught me sort of, kind of, but
Then he didn't teach you.
Yeah, my dad.
It's
our
been
dad-
a while.
Yeah, our dad he made me have a stick. Did I ever tell you why he made me have a stick? Like the stick shift
No,
in the cars.
no.
He made me have one for all of them because he's like, I don't want you driving and messing around with girls with that free hand. So you got to hurry. I'm like,
What the
seriously,
heck?
Dad? I'm like, what is wrong with you?
His daughter's in the room, Luke.
Well, I'm talking about like rubbing, like holding hands. That's
So
all.
you're exactly cuddling. You cuddling. So you only rode on highways.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Except really road on highway, so that way you don't.
Here, you're good to
I don't know
go.
what you're talking about, Isaac. You
Yeah.
sicko.
Yeah.
Let's hear.
The younger brother's always in the gutter.
Yeah,
Mhm.
seriously, get mine out of the gutter.
My bad. I mean, it's just what it is, Luke.
That's it. What an amazing family. Rick saying what an Nicholas Rodlin said he learned fast. Yeah, you have to learn fast. I can't believe you don't know how to drive a stick shift.
No,
I
I'm
didn't
too young.
buy those, and they sell them still. I don't even know if those are an
I
option.
think so.
They're. I think you almost have to like buy them special order. My second car was manual, and I remember my dad. He was. I love him. He's one. My mom and dad are amazing. So they buy me a car the day, maybe 2 days before I'm leaving for Canada when I'm 16 years old. Stick shift. This thing is this beautiful red pickup truck. It was perfect for me. The Isuzu Ombre, which was the Chevy S10, but a Isuzu Ombre instead.
Wow.
And this thing's manual. And I remember like trying to learn how to drive this thing. And I'm about to by myself or with my buddy who is going to Canada with me to Vancouver. 1,000-mile drive. I'm trying to learn how to drive the stick shift fast because I'm like, there's no way I'm not taking this brand new car to Canada with me. I need a car, and there's no way I'm not taking this thing. So, like, I'm out there all hours of the night trying to learn how to drive this thing. So, anyway, I learned kind of how to drive this thing, and off I go, driving up to Canada. And I stayed the night in Seattle. I think it was the first night. I stayed the night in Seattle. And Seattle, if you've ever been there, is, like, just nothing but hills. I mean,
jeez.
as soon as you get off the highway, it's like just nothing but hills.
Yeah.
Staying with family friends, and which was I'm like, please God, be in that flat area. Please God. Pull up to their house. It's like on a cliff. Like the street is basically
Of
like.
course.
And I just remember the next morning leaving, trying to put in a gear, trying to pop.
No.
And rolling backwards. And maybe potentially, just slightly, ever so gently tapping the car behind me. And
Bumpers are for.
I may or may not have hit a cop in Canada as well doing the exact same thing. It was an accident.
Mounties.
It was an accident. I rolled back into him.
You said something interesting, Marcus. You said you moved to Canada when you were 16?
Yeah.
Went to
You wanted to
school
play
up there?
hockey.
To play hockey.
And went to school up there?
Yeah. So that's what. So hockey.
Who'd you stay with? You're 16.
I know. Well, yeah, I know. If you want to play hockey, that's what you got to do.
He's a classic hockey kid. He lives with some family up there, and then they support him, and then they're his hockey family. Our sister dated a bunch of hockey players in high school, and they all did that dance thing across the United States. So,
I'm sure that's probably exactly how she wanted you to say it.
Yeah.
You did like hockey. There were a couple.
Yeah.
Exactly. You move when you're 16. Now, the interesting thing is the Phantoms in the USHL here. I mean, that's the top league. So if you go down to a game when you're allowed to do things again, you're on a game. These kids, they're going to play in the NHL, like a bunch of them. So they're all moving away from their families, and they're from all over. I mean, they got a couple of kids from Russia and things like that. I mean, you move and you're just kind of gone. Did the Canadian cop apologize?
He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'll let you go on your way now. Go ahead, buddy."
Yeah, buddy.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry there, fella. Let me get you on your way here.
Yeah. And honestly, that's almost exactly what happened.
I want to ask, was he a Mountie? Did you hit at the front of his horse, or was it something different?
Well,
Their comps are called Mounties.
but they
right?
RCMP, Royal Canadian Mountain Police.
Yeah.
Police.
Mounties.
So yes, it was a Mountie. And basically what happened is I was driving back to my billet's house, my family in Canada, and we go every couple of years to go visit. They are family, and so I'm driving back to the house. It was probably 9:00 at night, and going ever so much up this like gradual road, but I just come down this big hill. And my car's in miles per hour, and obviously everything's in kilometers. And I knew what was going on, but I was still flying. This cop pulls me over, and he comes up to my car, and he goes, what are you doing here? All this other stuff. I got Canadian license or California license plates, and I explain everything. He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, give me a second." Goes back to his cruiser, and I had just on the way up, like 2 weeks earlier, got a speeding ticket in Oregon going 88 and a 55.
Oh.
And my dad, I was almost positive, was going to come through the phone when I told him about that speeding ticket and murder me. It was on the table. Death was a possibility. So now I'm pulled over by a mounted police, a Mountie, and I tap my head on the steering wheel going, my dad's going to murder me. And I hear this slap. And I'm going, he just hit me. First thing in my mind, this cop just hit me. And I see in my rearview mirror him get out of his car, walk up to my car, and I roll down my window, and he's like, sir, my car's still in park. How about yours?
Oh.
And I go, what? He goes, my car, it's still in park. How about yours? I go, huh? He goes, you rolled back into me. You hit me. Do me a favor, turn your car on, pull forward, put it into first gear, turn your car off, put your emergency brake on, and give me a minute. Swear to God, he was gone for 45 minutes. He was in the back in the squad car calling everyone he knew, telling him the story, and comes back and goes, well, listen, son. He goes, I'm sure you don't know the whole kilometer system. You're new here. You play for the hockey team. I'm going to give you a pass today, and lets me go. I literally,
Classic Canada.
I still have the citation he gave me. I still have the piece of paper. So,
let me get you on your way, bud. Go take a dip in the jacuzzi. Take a dip in the jacuzzi.
The cold places send you back to the top. Yeah.
That happens. I mean, anyone can do it. Hello, it's a very honest and simple mistake for California.
Canadian cop, let you go. Truck cop.
Oh man, you bump into the truck, it's game over. You're gonzo. You're locked up.
You're not walking away from that. There's
you're at least taking a taser to the face. You at least.
Isaac, if you get pulled over by a truck cop, what do you do? What's your first step? What do you do?
Well, step one, I'm going in for a hug. Like, that's definitely happening.
Hip in hug or like hips out?
It's just gonna be hands out the window to start, and he's gonna be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm gonna be like, "I just came here for a hug." Your hands out of the car. I just want a hug, sir.
I mean, at this point, Isaac, I think he would be afraid. Like, he might see you speeding or run. I don't think he'd pull you over because he's like, no, not going to touch that.
Not dealing with that. He actually pulled. I don't know if I told you this before, Luke, but he actually was coming out of the church or something, and he pulled out behind me, and he had his lights on because he just got done pulling someone over, and he still had them on. So I pulled over onto the side. It was like a back road, so I pulled over onto the side of the road, and he like got mad, like he didn't realize his lights were still on, and he like looked at me like, "What are you doing?" as he was driving by me. I'm like, "Dude, your lights are still on. I thought you were pulling me over. I thought this was it. I thought this was our time." But he just shook his head and drove by me. But
a truck cop would come on your podcast?
We tried a million times, man. We've tried.
And I mean, even like saying, "Hey, listen, we're whatever you want to talk about." I feel like all of Poland would
Yes.
I called the chief of police. I called him and he picked up because my future father-in-law did some car work for him, Chief Beatty, and
He legally gave us his cell phone.
I picked up the phone, so I called him. He picks up the phone. He's like, "Hello, how can I help you?" And I was like, "This is Isaac Schuster from the MLO Bros." He's like, "I know who you are." I'm like, "Well, how are we doing today, sir? I'm happy you know who we are." And he's like, "Well, I just want you to know you're great for the community, but I will not be coming on your podcast." And I'm like, "That's all right. We appreciate you." I'm like, "So what about Officer Mike?" And he's like, "Never." I'm like, "Okay, sounds good.
Have a nice day.
Sounds good." And he's like, I'm like, "Yeah, he's really good at his job." And he's like, I wish I had 1,000 of him. I'm like, "Yeah, he's awesome." And
Everyone loves him.
but it was a great conversation.
How long have you lived in Poland for, Marcus? You've been here.
2007 is when we moved to Poland.
2007. Yeah, you've been here just as long as us. We moved. Well, Maggie's been here forever, but I moved here. That was about when we bought our condo over here. So
Yeah, we got married in 06, spent a year in Canfield, and then bought this house in 07, and here we are, baby.
awesome. Well, we're looking at an hour 30 here. This is another good one. So let's wrap this up. Marcus, where can the people find you for Cabot Family Office?
Office-wise, so cabotfamilyoffice.com is our website.
Okay.
And then, so everything, all of our information's there. I don't do, man, you guys have just cornered the market on social media. When I grow up, I want to be like you guys. Don't have any social media for the business. But Cabot Family,
it's a good thing to get into, buddy.
It really is, man.
I know you you guys are like the rock stars. You guys are the biggest wagon in Poland. I mean, the biggest deal.
We don't know how this happened, but it did, and it's amazing how many people watch this insane podcast, and it's insane how many people with everything Poland. Like I go to Walgreens now, and I have people calling me riffraff all the time because that's what, it's like, "Hey, riffraff, what's up?" I'm like, seriously, I don't even know who these people are.
Was it yesterday the lady delivered the rolls, or was that Tuesday, Luke?
That was yesterday.
So yesterday, I get on our office building, I get a knock on the door, and it's a lady, and I open the door. I'm like, "Hey, how can I help you?" And she's like, "Hey, I'm from Texas Roadhouse. I have some rolls here for you. Just wanted to come deliver them to you because I know you guys just opened. And rolls and cinnamon butter. Have you come and seen us post COVID or since the lockdown?" And I'm like, "No, we haven't been out to see you, but I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to share it on our social media and our branch social media, and also we everything Poland, if you know that." And she's like, Are you the riffraff?" And I'm like, Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And she's like, "Oh, I follow your page. I have your sign in our yard." And she's like, "I'm always on the page." And I'm like, "This is so awesome. Thank you so much. We'll share it on that." And it's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm sure you've talked about this a million other times, and I'm sorry, but how? I know it was on accident, or like you wake up and you're like, "How did this happen?" Whose idea was this?
The MLO Bros?
No, well, just the podcast and the whole 9 yards. Like,
So Luke hired me to be a loan officer. He hired me to be a loan officer assistant until I could eventually become a loan officer. So he hired me in February, and I was like, me and Luke were talking. We're like, how can you get business, Isaac? And I was like, well, what if we do like a brother podcast type deal? Because I love listening to like podcasts and Joe Rogan and all that stuff. So
yeah, Joe Rogan is what our main thing was.
So I was like, what if we do a local podcast where we have like local people on and try and support the community while at the same in like getting charity events and all different kinds of people on, and while at the same time talk about us being loan officers. And we figured like people would eat that up because we're brothers and we have crazy personalities and it would work. And then one thing led to another. We did that. We weren't allowed to post our podcast on Poland social media, so then we created our own.
We got kicked off of the Pull and Talk because Isaac got in a fight with the lady. Well, I got in a fight.
It's not just my fault, Luke.
I got in a fight with that. We got kicked off of Pull and Talk because I was posting stuff. So when I got kicked off of Pull and Talk, I was like, oh, you think you guys are going to kick me off? So I created that Everything Poland, which is just taking off now too, and they hate us at Pull and Talk.
We're the nice ones. We don't start any drama or anything. We're super nice.
You rise above it. You rise above that. I mean,
we rise above talking garbage, don't we, Isaac?
Yes.
I mean, we're just. But again, like, what seems about you with us? We have like you should come in, Marcus. Next time you're by our office and come in and sit, like during the day if you're there, come in and visit us.
you guys are like, I mean, when I can hit a driver straight, which is not very often, you guys are a driver away from my house. So I can just walk down over there and check you guys.
It is like Fancy Mortgage Company meets Animal House is the best way to explain it.
So there's beers in the refrigerator, but at the same time, you know, if you need to wear a collared shirt, you can do that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Correct.
Yeah. We offer our guests when they come in water, Diet Mountain Dew, or Monster energy drinks.
We have whatever you want.
Anything you want. It's in the fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have 2 offices in there. So yeah, that's what, but it's been fun. This has turned into something that is just surprising to me where we're helping charity, we're helping companies, we're helping people, and it's not like the slowdown. I love it. At this point, I'm not stopping. Our company too, Nationwide Mortgage, thank them for letting us do this because I've always wanted to do stuff like this, but the stuffy banks never wanted to let us do it at all. Nationwide Mortgage with our boss and the CEO, they love it. They're like
so awesome.
You guys are good. Like they don't give you a hard time about.
No, I couldn't even, Luke. If we were at a bank, I couldn't even work under you.
No.
Yeah.
Those banks. They're. I worked for banks for 17 years. I found my way here with the banks, and again, I've been called unprofessional for talking about them, but they need to change because the way. What's the quote? It's a quote from War of the Worlds. I forget the quote. It's if you don't change, you perish. And those banks,
they're not adapting.
They're perishing because they can't adjust. I'm sure it's the same thing, Marcus, with people in your investment area. They don't change. They've done the same thing. You present it to them, and they just refuse because this is the way we've always done it. These banks, they're going to go away. These local banks. And they're already starting to, the local banks, because they cannot adjust.
Yeah.
The apparatus gets too big, and then the corporate side just gets too much, and then good new ideas, fresh ideas, aren't possible anymore.
Yeah.
And then there's you guys that have new, fresh ideas that everyone loves to watch and laugh and everything else with. And you're taking all their business. So,
but it wasn't like we had at the beginning starting out, everybody was calling us idiots. Like it was so bad. It wasn't like this.
Do you think that people aren't still doing that?
No. Oh, come on now. Oh, come on now.
And my wife is a kindergarten teacher. Actually, I think she had your kids, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So when we put up that billboard that was on 224,
it's beautiful.
Isaac will verify.
It's a masterpiece.
She was ready to kill me because I did not tell her we were doing it. I just did it, and she was literally ready to kill me. And it was like, why would you do that? I said, Maggie, because it's gonna bring attention. She goes, I am a teacher at Poland. I'm a kindergarten teacher, and you are a bad reflection of me being a teacher. And I said, Maggie, just tell everybody that you have nothing to do with it. She's like, we are married. And I said, well, yes, that is a good point.
True, you got a point.
All press is good press.
Yeah, she doesn't get it. She doesn't see the big picture here. But now she's letting me do this. And oh boy, you remember how mad she was, Isaac?
Yeah, she was angry.
She's got to know you at this point, though. I mean, Luke, you don't strike me as being too much of an introvert ever.
That's what I told her. I said we dated for like 15 years, 14 years. I mean, what do you expect at this point?
I'm just being me. I'm just being me.
So it's working out great. We're gonna do our best. I'm excited to try and push this auction thing. I want to see how much money we can get for you, Marcus.
Man, that would be awesome.
Can we sponsor a hole too? Do you have hole sponsors?
We have whole sponsors. I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you a copy of the flyer.
Okay.
And
we'll buy a 4-pack of tickets, and we'll see if we can get our 4th person.
And then, is there any way to like directly donate to the cause that people can do that?
Yeah. So on our website, folks can do that. FuenteDeAmor.info, info.
Okay.
And you can go on there and donate, or just reach out to me via Facebook. You can do that too.
Yeah.
And I can help get that set up, and anyone that's interested, if they want to, potentially go down there and help out on a trip or whatever, I'd love to have the conversation. Be awesome.
Awesome. All right,
great, man.
Boys, thank you.
Marcus, thanks for joining us, man. Marcus, Fuente De Amor, and also Cabot Family Office. CFO. So, hi, hon. Who's that? Is that your daughter?
Stella wants to say hi.
Has been here the whole time. Hi, Stella. How old, Stella? How old are you?
I'm going to be 10 on December 19th.
Are you in Lucas's grade? Are you in Lucas's grade?
Yeah.
How bad is Lucas? Let's talk about that.
Have you ever been in class with him?
What?
Have you come over here? Have you ever been in class with my son Lucas?
Yeah.
Schuster? Is he bad?
Is he super loud and obnoxious?
Oh boy.
Oh, he's not
man.
talk too much.
Sometimes.
He gets that from his mom.
Definitely. Definitely not his dad, his uncle. They're talking way too much.
Oh, he hangs. It's like he says stuff sometimes, and Maggie just looks at me like, "God, that's so you."
Yeah, that's your fault. That's your fault.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us,
gentlemen. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely,
you're welcome.
We appreciate you. We'll be in touch soon.
Sounds great. Have a great night, guys.
Send me that form. I want to sign up for that.
I'll do it right now.
All right, brother. We'll see you,
Hey,
man.
Marcus.
Good night. See you guys.
Every time. Just totally cut him off mid-sentence.
I should have access to that button.
Your time is up, sir. Your time is up.
Well, that was good. All right, so we're going to do that. Give him the spiel, Isaac.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you. The MLO Bros. It stands for Mortgage Loan Originator Brothers. So if you are purchasing a home, think of us for financing. Think of us for a refinance if you're into that too. Is in preschool. Look at Luke, Bobby Boston. My granddaughter was in preschool with him. He was a kisser back then.
I think he did get in trouble for kissing a little girl, if I remember correctly.
Nice. Kissed Bobby Boston's granddaughter.
Little stud. I remember that. We had to have the time, like, dude, you can't go around like kissing girls. And then I'm like, but you can, but when you're older. Like that was a really awkward conversation with a preschool.
But yeah,
not now.
We are loan officers. So think of us when you're buying a home or refinancing. Also, please like our page if you haven't already.
Thanks, Rick.
Like our page if you haven't already. Share this to get word out. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, everything. Really, really appreciate everybody. And come visit us at our new office. What is it? 211 South Main Street?
Yes.
What else, Luke?
They had Mrs. Mrs. Butchie. I remember that conversation. saying, dude, you can't go around kissing girls in preschool. It's just
That's
not
awesome. What else do we have, Luke? What else do we have going on now?
We have all kinds of guests next week, and this weekend I'm going to set up an option to go golfing with me, you, and O'Keel. Highest person that donates to Fuente De Amor will get to go golfing with us. We're terrible.
Auction off tickets.
Okay, I'm decent.
Yeah,
You're terrible.
I'm really bad.
I'm going to assume O'Keel's bad.
Oh, dude, he's got to be bad. Dude, come on.
I would assume so. So hopefully you can auction with. If you don't golf, you can still. We'll accept it. You come with us, and we'll just drink, and we'll eat, and we'll be done.
And then, like, are we gonna make a random person ride with O'Keel, like, and just record it and see how awkward it is?
Yes.
Like, you don't get to ride in the car with the MLO bros. You get to ride with O'Keel.
We can rotate holes, like one hole with me, one hole with you, one hole with O'Keel. I don't know.
I'm gonna drive him like into the trees in Mill Creek Park and stuff too.
How many people did Lucas make out with, or not make out with, kiss when he was in preschool?
She was one of them.
Little stud. Guys, stud. What are you supposed to do?
And the crazy thing about Lucas is he's the most unemotional hugger person ever.
Well, he's changed. When he was younger, he was like that. He is now the best description of him as a cactus. He doesn't want hugs. He doesn't want touch.
I walk in the house and it is from Cameron and Ben, the younger two. It's Uncle Izzy, and they give me big hugs and kisses. And I just know Lucas is on a couch somewhere, so I have to search the house for him. And he's like, "Hey, Uncle Isaac, what's up?" And I'm like, "That's not going to be enough, bud." And he's like, "Ugh."
How do you know these numbers, Bobby? Kissed 3 kids?
About 3?
About 3. Like I said, how many?
No, he kissed. Oh, about 3 girls, little girls he kissed.
The world. That was like
what a stud.
Lucas, we cannot tell Lucas. He will be so mad if we knew we were talking about that.
What, him kissing little girls?
Yeah, he will be so mad if he knew. He was the subject of conversation on the podcast.
I'm totally telling him.
I know you will. All right, everybody, thank you very much. We will be back on Tuesday with DJ Yoakley to talk.
I'm so excited.
Streaming football games, and I know they have a meeting on Monday. If Poland doesn't stream and they give him a hard time about streaming those games, it's on. Okay? I mean, it's on, Isaac. It is on.
It really, I mean, dude, if they do that to him.
Stream those games and they limit those crowds, so help me, I am going to release the riffraff upon, like you did the other day.
They're so stupid if they do that. They're literally like killing themselves because it's just so stupid. If other schools are going to have it and then you're not going to have it, the parents are going to lose their minds, and we're going to fuel the fire.
We will release the riffraff from Poland, Ohio. We will release the riffraff. We will write letters. We will send emails. We will give out phone numbers. And I'm not threatening. I am just telling you, if they don't stream those games for the community because an administrator has an issue, it's going to be on like.
It's like why? The question would be, why do you have an issue, sir? Like, why do you have an issue with YSN? Why don't you want them? Why? So you're gonna do it yourself with some it's going to be some crappy stream that you barely put together. And from what I've heard, like they're threatening behind the scenes to like cut Wi-Fi and stuff. Like, oh God, come, you're childish.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm sure no one's going to hear this part because it's like 2 hours into our podcast, but
childish.
We'll see what happens. I'm excited to have DJ and then Dr. Nino Rubino on Thursday. Should be fantastic.
That's going to be lots of Poland conversation in those 2 daes.
People from like Boardman, I mean everybody. But let's talk to the doctor about school and stuff. I mean, how cool is that?
And Nino, again, remember when we were told we never have any good guests from Poland on? Jeez, it's just
we're getting grumpy.
Never have any good guests from
We're
Poland.
tired and grumpy. Time to go to bed. Everybody, good night. See you guys later.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching. #1, baby. It was number one.
Number one. Number one.
Hi, we're the MLO Bros.
And our new office is now open at 211 South Main Street.
We take pride in being a local lender right here in the center of Poland, Ohio.
Maybe your current lender is offering terrible customer service, or maybe they're even going through a terrible merger.
We don't want to say any names, though.
Call us today. Let's help you finance your home.